Hello crafty friends, in today's video I am scrapbooking one 4x6 photo using a digital kit that I printed out at home. This kit is super old. It's from 2017 and I haven't ever used it. I was going through my stuff. I was actually being really good and deleting files that I decided I was never going to use and kits that I never really liked, but maybe they were free, so I decided to keep them. And I came across this one and I really liked that journal tag that says Hello Spring, because that's what I felt like the photo was saying. It was the first day of us being outside and my son on his bike for the first time since the cold winter. And funny enough, a couple days after that photo was taken, we had to retreat back inside for probably a good 2 weeks with some really cold weather again. So winter wasn't done just yet, but I felt like that day was the first glimpse of spring. So I thought Hello Spring was a really cute subtitle. So that sort of brought me to that kit. And I don't usually use pinks with my photos either. So this I thought was a really good opportunity to get out of my comfort zone a little bit and use a color that I don't always use. So the way that I go about the digital kits is I feel like there's two ways I've done it, and I'm more happy with one of them. So the first one is you get your digital kit and you print everything out so that you have a physical kit. And I mean, you're not technically, there's stuff usually, not always, but usually in a digital kit that is sort of spatters and things like that that you could use when you digital scrapbook, but they're a little harder to use when you use the files physically. You could probably put them on a paper, like say you added spatter to this paper to grunge it up. You could do that, which I have, but all the other things like this, you could just print out and file, which I have done. But I'm recently liking to sort of, it takes more time, but sort of work on what I want to use on the computer. And then, I mean, a lot of times I have a couple extra, but get kind of the idea of what I want to do and then just print out what I want for this kit, or this page, I should say. Now these I also printed out and they were like this. So I had some blank space. So I did add some more just to save running through my printer. A few items that I just put to the side that I would use at a later time that has nothing to do with this. That's just how I hate wasting paper. So it might be a sentiment, such as these. That then get cut out later for cards and stuff like that. So I picked a focal point and then built the kit around that. So this is the piece that I thought was cute because I'm scrapbooking a photo of my son on his bike for sort of basically the first time after the really cold and really snowy winter we have had here. So I thought Hello Spring was cute. He's on his bike. This is not in this spring kit. This, so I have a lot of digital kits, as I said. So I just searched bike and this came up. And since I had already known from this that my colors were going to be black and teal with a tiny bit of pink, I figured I would use a teal bike. So the rest of this is all in this kit, including these two papers. This paper is not. This was from another digital kit, but I thought it went with the teal because after I picked this, I decided on teal, yellow, black, and a tiny, tiny bit of pink. So the way that I figured out, and this is going to be my main paper. So the way I figured out how I wanted to build this was by using this sketch as inspiration. I have a Pinterest board that I save scrapbook or cards online that I like, that I scrap lift or card lift. So I looked at that while I was collecting these items and went off of that. The only thing that's missing is there's a thin strip right here, and I thought that would be a good place to add some washi. So after I'm done kind of putting everything down, this color, this washi might work. Or I was thinking it would be a good time to use my black washi, which I'm going to pull out after I start building it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I set this file up with this. I wanted some white behind it. So I wish I had deleted that, but it's already done. I put white, so mess up. I put some white behind it, and then because digital files don't usually, they sometimes do. It depends on how the creator created all the files. But this one was not, so I put white behind it with a stroke, and then I added a very thin line because I'm going to run this through my brother's scan. Was it cut and scan? I think it's cut, or scan and cut, which I call my fancy expensive scissors, and it's going to cut out all right up to this dark line. Now this one doesn't have the dark line because I want it to go right to the edge, and the same with this and this. So I'm going to cut all these out, and then I'm going to start building my page. Okay, so there is my sheet that I just put down with a little painter's tape, hold it in place, because these mats become unsticky fairly quickly. So I have found that using the double stick tape holds it down just enough to be able to keep cutting. All right, we'll remove all of these. And there we go. Alrighty. I'm going to edge everything black because this kit already kind of has that. So I'm going to kind of continue the look of the pieces that didn't get that way. All right, so let's get started. So my picture is a 4x6. So I'm going to use a piece of white. I'm going to make this 4x6, and then I can trim my photo a little bit to go on top of that. So let me do that and I'll be right back. All right, let's see. So I'm going to put the mat about there. And I'm going to cut off, let's see. I want it to end about there, 3 inches. Coming up. Actually, I really like that, so I'm gonna cut. Oh, but I like the yellow. Which side do I like better? There's yellow on both. I'm gonna cut off that one. Tricky. Put that with my scraps. And then I'm going to just trim off a little bit on this side because there's a black line that was there when I printed it. I meant to take it off and I forgot. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off. Put that in the trash. And then the other piece is I'm going to use this for that banner. And it goes pretty much across the whole, kind of stopping around here. So let's see. take off an inch. And then I think it needs to be this thick. Let's see, what is it? It's 5. I'm thinking 4 inches is better. Okay, so I have that for a scrap. And now my least favorite, cutting it into a banner. I'm just not good at it. Never seems to be in the middle. I think I'm going to be really, I'm going to try it and do it with a ruler, see how I do. If this is 4, half of it is 2. I'd like it to go to there, right? Or is that too much? Let's go there. Okay, let's see if I can figure this out. Something as simple as this. Shouldn't be this difficult, but it is. I don't know. I watch people do it all the time. They like bend the page and just, I don't know. I try it and it leaves a crease. Never seems to come on. I don't know. Can't do it. All right, let's see if I can do it. Right off the bat, I don't think it's deep enough. No. Now I'm gonna wing it. Not bad. Okay. All right, let's ink the sides, and then I have either put a black washi, or I could have left that black line on this. It looks about the same. A black washi or that kind of teal bluish washi. Let's see, after I put these papers down, how that washi looks. Okay. And then we'll ink this one. This is gonna go here. Here. I should probably ink this edge. I'm gonna put the Hello Spring here. And this one. Let's ink this one up a little more. Put, so some of the sun is peeking out. And I'm going to put this here. Yeah. Now, what color does this go? No, the blue is just too blue. I need something a little more teal. It's close though. I think I could get away with it, but I want to see what else I have in my stash first. I'm gonna go check my stash and I'll be right back. I decided to go with this cute little bicycle washi, but it gets a little washed out. So I'm going to put this on white so that it doesn't show the paper through as washi's usually do. I'm going to use it more as like a border sticker. And I'm going to also put it with black. Now let's get this to the edge. So I only have to cut it once. There. Ish. And let's fix that. Ooh. Yes, sticking really good. Figures. Actually rip the paper a little. All right, and then wrap it around the back. And then I'm going to cut this out. These are the other washies I was thinking of, but then I found that one and I thought, perfect. Teal bicycles. Awesome. Little tiny black border on both sides. So this ends up being, it is 5/8. We really don't want a lot of black sticking out underneath, like just a little. So I'm gonna start with, yeah, I'm gonna make 3/4. Let's do taper. All right, now let's get this centered. I might glue it down later. Put this like there. No, I'll go a little lower. And then let's put this. And then we're gonna put there. Trim it. Too long. There you go. All right. Cool. Next, I'm gonna just tack this down, but I want to be able to put underneath. I don't want it to keep sliding. So I'm gonna put this. Okay. And did I do this? I'll do it again. So as I sit here, after this picture was only taken a week ago, it is now freezing here again, which I feel like more sun, please, is now sitting. Okay. And I planned on putting these flowers. Now these flowers were one of the reasons why I decided I had to ink everything. They already had that from the digital. And I'm going to stick that under there just to give a little pop of color. With the pink. Yeah. Okay, so then I have my Hello Spring, which was the reason I wanted to use this digital kit in the first place. Well, let me do the flowers first because I want to match sort of where I put these. So like there, under just enough. Okay. So I like using digital kits. I usually mix them with physical kits with like my stash, or if I, bought something new, to kind of help with my, I have a problem with like, I'm going to do that one last, cutting into paper. I'm like, oh, it's so cute. And then I don't use it. So I started buying digital kits because I can just print them again. So like trying to force myself not to be so keeping everything like it's precious. And that helps. Plus, with the cost of things, a digital kit, there's sales. I end up spending around the same, sometimes maybe a little more. But then I now have it forever. So, should I put this under? Yeah, I'm going to put this under. So I feel like I feel better spending the money. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know, but the way things cost nowadays, just every saving method helps, right? And like this. Yeah. There we go. So another one is this really cute pinwheel, which I thought felt like spring, outdoors. And my son, who's in this photo, actually when he was younger, really, really loved pinwheels. So I thought this was fitting. But I have to put the photo here, so I want to make sure I don't tack it down until I put the photo here. I'm going to wait because I don't want to cover anything up. This goes over the photo. These two are planning on it. Don't know where I'm going to put that yet. This goes over the photo. All right. Oh, this. Let me add a little more. So I only use a little bit of tape runner with the idea that I could move it. But this one that I'm using, it says dot glue runner, but what's in here is not. I think I put a refill in that was not. That is strong. Cannot move it like I'm used to with the dot runner. Good to know. But I like to just use a little so that everything doesn't keep sliding down as I'm deciding, you know, where I'm going to put stuff. I can slide it under if I forgot. And then, like I'm going to put this there. Yeah. Then I can glue it all down better when I'm happy with everything is. And that's just a landing place because I'm going to put my title here. So I just wanted to give it more space to do that. Oh, I forgot. Let's put a little bit back there. And I'm going to put that under my flowers. This was in the kit, so I thought, why not? Another place to bring the black in and to get my title. All right, so I'm going to put the photo down and I'm going to get some, see what I have in thickers for the type. I may cut it out because I have some die cut letters as well. So let me get that and I'll be right back. All right, got my picture down. So now let's add the elements for the top. Journaling, I think I'm going to put in strips here. There's really not a lot of journaling at all, if any. I mean, the title, I think, is... The title is going to say it all. It's going to be a long title. All right. I'm going to put my date on this. Now, this was in the kit, the digital kit. It was the same size as this. I just shrunk it down because I knew I wanted to use that as my date. I'm going to put that here. And then to add to more of the black, put this one. So I definitely, if you have a printer, now you don't need, now I do have a printer that prints out 12 by 12, but I don't always use the 12 by 12 printer. You can use which is what I do a lot. I just got the 12 by 12 printer. There we go. You can use legal sheets because that gives you the full 12. And then you just use the 12 by 12, either a white, and build your page, because we don't, we don't use a full 12 by 12 a lot of the time. Or you use the 12 by 12 that you're going to use out of your stash. And then you build your digital kit on top of that. So you don't need a 12 by 12 printer to use a digital kit. All right. Now I'll put my camera. This kit had a couple colors of cameras, but I decided to go with the black to help bring in that color. And I'm gonna put it right there. Cute. I still don't know where I'm gonna put this. I think I'm gonna put it there to fill in that trap space. That was my plan. I'm not gonna put it down just yet. I want to get my title down. I think I'm going to wait to put this bike down until I get my title, because the title is kind of long. So then I'm going to put of the, and then first bike right here, I think. And then F. Make sure you give it a space of. Okay. These are simple stories. I gotta get more of these. They're a good size. Ride in this one. These are hip kits. Okay. Put the right here. Yeah. That's good. That shows up on all of that. I don't want to make this as wonky. Perfect. What color splatter? This is when I wish you guys were here. So I think that that's good there. Little flowers and my little bike. Well, I think it needs to be popped up, which I should have popped that up too. Well, let's get some foam. All right, I'm committing. There it is. All right, enamel dots, and then we're done. So I'm gonna put my date there. Pulled some enamel dots from my stash. I don't have any black, so I got Nuvo drops for that. Pink. So let's see, where do I want to put some? I'm gonna put some here. Ooh. And I'm gonna do black. Let me get scrap. Oh, see, good, I did that. Okay. Oh boy, why is it watery? Well, then we might be using splatters after all. Okay, the decision was made. Let me put a dark blue there. Oh boy. Okay. Splatters, huh? I'll be doing splatters. Now, it's so weird because I tested it. You saw me test it. Why is it so liquidy? Now it's working. It's kind of that color. Let's put it there. And then I wanted to do some there. Let's do a pink. Okay. I guess I'll do splatter here and maybe here. So let's do a pink. Let's do blue. And let's do a peach. There. Spatter. But I have to make that goob. I don't want that to get spattered on. I don't want that. I don't want that. Okay. Little black ink. Okay, wish me luck. Just to make that look a little more purposeful. Okay. Let's clean this up and let it dry. All right, here is my finished layout. I had a lot of fun doing this one. Using a digital kit actually was quite relaxing. I wasn't stressing about using anything up or cutting into precious paper. If you're on a crafty budget or you're just trying to maybe stop over shopping, give digital kits a try. Thanks so much for watching. Have a crafty day.